Today, we're going to talk about the books that I am in the midst of and then what we're going to be getting into. And so, for some reason, I thought it'd be a great idea to get into two really giant books at the same time. It's going to take me a while to get through. Why did I think this is a good idea? Well, I don't know, because they're both going to be great, I'm pretty sure. So the first one is The Black House, which is the second book in the Talisman trilogy. The third book comes out this year, so that's why I wanted to pick up the pace on reading the Talisman, finish the Talisman earlier this year. Loved it. Started this one. I am about 100 pages in right now. And this is giving off severe Twin Peaks vibes. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So I made a short about this, kind of like naming off the things I had noticed in it so far. So you have Jack Sawyer, who's the main character in the prior book. He was a kid and now he's a retired LA detective, and he's very reminiscent of Special Agent Dale Cooper from Twin Peaks. And he comes to Wisconsin from LA and he falls in love with the nature and surroundings and the vibe of the place, and he feels like he's come home. And it's almost in the way that Dale Cooper fell in love with Twin Peaks, you know? And then there's also a character named Dale in here, which is the chief of police. And then he ends up buying a house and staying in Wisconsin, and he, at some point he says, I hope I don't have to do any other deals with you low down Norwegians, which he says to Dale. And in Twin Peaks, the Norwegians are a group of investors who come to buy property while they're there. And so that's like another weird similarity. But the biggest one is that the Black House is a liminal space and it's a gateway to another dimension, the territories. And so that screams of the Black Lodge from Twin Peaks, which is a liminal space and quite possibly a gateway to another dimension. So we have all the similarities, and that's within the first 100 pages. And so we'll see if there's more, but it definitely has that vibe, and I love that because I love Twin Peaks, so it made me even more excited to read this. This book, these murders start happening again, where there's a serial killer, and it's very reminiscent of murders that had happened years and years ago by this guy who was named Albert Fish, who was like the fisherman who was murdering kids. And then this starts happening again in Wisconsin, and he's like, the cop, the chief of police, Dale, starts to beg Jack Sawyer, his friend. He's like, can you please help me with this case? And Jack doesn't really want anything to do with it, but he's obviously going to get pulled into it. And I'm not too far in, but enjoying it so far. Okay, so the next one that I'm in the middle of is even bigger. Yeah, why read one giant book when you can read two? So that is The Butcher's Masquerade by Matt Dinneman, book 5 in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. Yeah, this one, even bigger than the last one I read. And I think we're like 90 pages into this one. So we're now on dungeon level 6 in this. And this is the hunting grounds. And this is where like the people who watch the show can actually join in and hunt the dungeon crawlers. So you have that added element to this. So you have Carl and Princess Donut come into the story, and it's already like you jump like straight into action. Like Carl at first is being held up in the office because the powers that be, or all the people that are behind the corporations that are running this dungeon crawl show, they don't want Carl to keep the Gate of the Feral Gods, which was the artifact that he had acquired in the prior book. And there's all this red tape and stuff, and Carl's like well, then I want a frickin' lawyer. And so he gets a lawyer, and they kind of like make a thing where he's going to get the gate back, but not till level 9. And so in the meantime, he wants some collateral for this happening because they can't technically take it away from him. There's a bunch of legal stuff and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, he ends up getting like 4 mercenaries as collateral while they hold on to the gate. And so you have that. So when they first come into this level of the dungeon, there's supposed to be like 30 hours before anyone's attacked or whatever. So, rest up, get whatever, eat, drink, hang out, figure out your strategic actions, what you're going to do and all this. But as soon as Carl starts to go into town, he's like immediately attacked, and it's by like stuff that's invisible. So like chaos starts right at the gate, and then Carl decides he's going to cause some chaos of his own. Like these books are like these magically addictive, just pulls you right into the story. Like I can tell I'm going to fly through this. I already know. Like I sat down and read 90 pages just today. Was surprised. It looks like I've barely scratched the surface, but I'll probably finish this. Oh, I mean, it'll take me at least a week, but I feel like I'm going to fly through it. So super, super excited to get back into this. Loving the series so much. I've heard that this one in particular is a lot of people's favorite. That makes me more excited to read it. So yeah, smart idea, Sin. Start 2 really giant books at the same time. The only reason it's dumb on my account is it's not really dumb. It just It takes me so much longer to read books this size with the content schedule I have made for myself in my neurotic brain. It makes it harder for me to get out content when I'm reading larger books like this, but that's fine. I know these are both going to be pretty great. At least I feel like they're going to be. They've had very promising starts. Let's tell you what I'm going to get into in the future. Might be a little bit though, because I have 2 really giant books to read. All right. Okay, so we have One of Us by Dan Sean or Chown. I don't know how to say that name. I do apologize. This is like a weird circus type horror or thriller, I believe. So let's tell you about it. It's 1915 and the world is transforming. But for 13-year-old Bolt and Eleanor, twins so close they can read each other's minds, life is falling apart. After their mother dies, they are forced to leave home under the care of a vicious con man who claims to be their long-lost Uncle Charlie, the only kin that they have left. During a late-night poker game, when one of his rages ends in murder, they decide to flee. Salvation arrives in the form of Mr. Jangling, founder of the Emporium of Wonders and father to its many members. He adopts Bolt and Eleanor, who travel by train across the vast, sometimes brutal American frontier with their new family, watching as exhibitions spark amazement wherever they go. There's Minnie, the 3-legged lady, and Dr. Chewy, who stands over 7 feet tall, Thistlebritches, the clown with no nose, and Rosalie, who can foretell the death of anyone she meets. After a lifetime of having only each other, Eleanor and Bolt are finally part of something bigger. But as Bolt falls in deeper with their new clan, Eleanor begins to pull further away from him. And when Uncle Charlie picks up their trail, the twins find themselves facing perils that will forever alter the trajectory of their lives. And I thought that sounded like it would be quite the intriguing and strange read. So, yes, One of Us by Dan Chown. I don't know. If anyone knows how to say this last name, please tell me. Okay, so after that one, we have The Ghost Women by Jennifer Murphy. And this one sounds like it'll be pretty cool. There's like ancient tarot cards, centuries-old mysteries, some weird art academy in the woods. What's it all about? Well, let me tell you. On a hot August morning in 1972, the body of Abel Montague, a student of St. Luke's Institute of Arts, is found hanging from a tree in the forest. His body has been positioned into the exact pose illustrated on the Hanged Man tarot card found in his back pocket. When Detective Lola Germany arrives at St. Luke's, a former monastery that once housed a secret order of monks who carried out witch trials and executions, she believes that they're dealing with a ritualistic murder. While interviewing school administrators and students, Lola suspects Abel's girlfriend, Pearl, might be hiding something, along with her group of friends who call themselves witches. When more students are found dead, each body arranged like a tarot card, Lola realizes she's trapped inside of a web of power and ambition that spans centuries. Soon the lines between past and present, spiritual and tangible, begin to blur, and the only way to survive is to seek answers from places she never imagined. And this says, witchy, magical, and unputdownable. Is that a word? Unputdownable? Sounds awkward when I say it. Dark academia and weird. Sounds great. So now is the time of the video when I normally say which book I'm most excited to read, and I'm pretty torn between Black House and The Butcher's Masquerade. I'm going to go with both of those. I might be leaning a little more towards The Butcher's Masquerade, if I'm being honest. Just because those ones, Stephen King's books, I will read through slower, but like the pacing in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series is so like fast and addictive. I fly through those. So I may be a little more excited for that just because of like, I know it's going to be a whirlwind of craziness and adventure, and I look forward to it. What have you been getting into recently? Anything weird? Anything good? Any kind of series? Let me know. And if you enjoyed hanging out today, hit that subscribe button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.